Welcome back. We're live at 5:16. Well, they shot to fame in 2008 when their horse Big Brown won the coveted Kentucky Derby.
But a group of Long Island investors now under the microscope for a shuttered project that cost Nassau taxpayers $500,000. Newsday's Thomas Maier explains in part one of our Newsday News 12 investigative report, The Big Bet.
The Kentucky Derby.
America's most famous horse race was won in 2008 by Big Brown, owned by a group of Long Island-based investors. Both they and their horse seemed to come out of nowhere.
It is Big Brown by 5 on the letter.
Here with Michael Ivarone, Big Brown's owner. Specifically, what have the last 10 or 12 days been like for all of you guys?
It's been an incredible experience. We've got to share with our family and friends. It's been unbelievable.
Ivarone and his partners soon had their eye on another prize, a multi-million-dollar horse hospital and equine center next to Belmont Racetrack. Now, 5 years later, the horse hospital is empty, and more than $500,000 in tax revenue has been lost. So what happened? In 2009, Ivarone's firm went to the Hempstead Industrial Development Agency and asked for a big tax break. He promised to care for Belmont's horses and also provide jobs. But local leaders like Elmont's Patrick Nicolosi objected to a tax break they say wasn't needed.
If you can afford to build this type of building, okay, you really need a $500,000 tax break?
Harvey Levinson, Nassau County tax assessor at the time, also opposed the deal. When you heard that a company that had just won the Kentucky Derby wanted to build a horse hospital, what was your reaction?
My reaction was, that's fine, but don't ask the taxpayers for any help.
But Ivarone didn't back off from his request, and critics say he got some help from high places. Representing the horse company was a politically connected businessman, Richard Bavone, who had served on the IDA himself.
Richard was apparently a facilitator, a paid facilitator, to make things easier for the permits and dealing with Hempstead Town. And that's basically his business.
Despite these objections, Hempstead's IDA went ahead and let the horse firm pay less than a third of what it normally would owe in property taxes. But even with that huge tax break, Ivarone's firm fell behind on its payments. After 3 years, the horse hospital had to close its doors, and Hempstead Town never got the jobs that Ivarone promised to deliver. We went to Richard Bavone's office to ask about this failed deal, but he never spoke to us. Ivarone's Garden City office is now dark and empty, and no one came to the door at his home. We'd like to talk to Michael Ivarone if he's here.
I'm here.
But we did catch up with Hempstead IDA chair Theodore Sasso. He denies anything improper or overly generous about their tax break.
So I don't think we do anything that's not in keeping with the spirit of what industrial development agencies do. I'm sorry, I have a problem accepting that.
Sasso also claims he had no idea about other alleged problems with the horse firm, including the identity of the real money man behind it, and criminal allegations that it was part of a Ponzi scheme to cheat investors. For Newsday and News 12 Long Island, I'm Thomas Maier.
Well, tomorrow night, we will take a look at those criminal charges and why the project cost taxpayers so much. That's in part 2 of our special investigation, The Big Bet, beginning at 5 p.m. You can also read much more about this story in today's Newsday.